Hi everybody, happy spring. Spring has sprung, right? There's wildflowers blooming everywhere. In fact, the other day I was driving from Los Angeles to Bakersfield and saw all the poppies growing on the sides of the mountains. Very beautiful. I wish I had the time to go stroll through the poppy fields, but not going to happen. My schedule's too busy. I think I drove close to 500 miles again last week. But I did want to take a minute because I've been a little remiss to thank those who've been donating to the GoFundMe site. We appreciate so much your donations. You can't imagine. I'm working hard to get both of the microscopes on service contracts, both of the electron microscopes. The light microscopes are fine. Those I can deal with myself. But the electron microscopes require a lot of finesse, a lot of handling. And so let me just take a minute to thank personally those who have donated recently. Isaiah Harrison, thank you so much for your donation. Brad Jansen, thank you. And also a person who requested to be anonymous with a $50 donation, thank you so much. I could not do this work without your help. I'm working hard to cover my life necessities with the microscope business, and thank God I'm making it, just getting by here in very expensive Los Angeles. But the donations are going straight into the microscopy work, and I want to tell you a little bit now that spring has sprung and flowers are coming out. I want to tell you about a project that my dear friend Dr. George Howe, PhD from Ohio State University, taught at the Master's College for many years, and before that Westmont College. He's got me excited about a new project, and we're actually studying the calla lily. You're familiar, of course, with the lily, blooms in the spring, and it's a very interesting organism. It's unlike a lot of different plants that you find out there and that are described in the literature. And we're studying the pollen, the way these pollen grains are extruded or squeezed out, popped out from these very unusual formations in the flower. And also the grains themselves, the pollen grains themselves, are full of a lot of tiny little structures which are not described anywhere in the literature. And so it's a neat opportunity for us to do this work, to do all the microscopy of it, to describe it, and then publish it in secular journals. And so I don't often do this. I don't often veer off the dinosaur soft cell course to go into something as esoteric as the calla lily pollen. But this is very interesting, and it's an opportunity for creationists to do world-class work. You can see some of the pictures of the pollen grains here, and this has not really been described that very well in the literature. So right now we're in the process of doing some scanning electron microscopy and of course light microscopy, and then hopefully soon we will delve into some transmission electron microscopy of thin sections of these interesting little organs and organelles. And so again, thank you for your support, and I'm going to take a few minutes here to talk a little bit about calla and the interesting things that we're finding, so it might bless your day. I hope so. There's a lot of design out there and a lot of things that have not been thoroughly discussed and covered, certainly by creationists, let alone evolutionists who, in my opinion, can do more careful work. I'll just put it that way, right? So anyway, thank you guys. God bless you. Happy spring. Easter Sunday is approaching, and the resurrection of Jesus Christ is the whole reason why we are here on planet Earth, to share the beauty and the majesty and the grace of that resurrection. His death and burial, resurrection from the dead, frees us from sin if we choose to follow Jesus, if we choose to surrender our lives to Him. And I hope you will if you haven't already. God bless you and have a great day. Thank you. Okay, so what we are looking at here is a large field of view of pollen grains. And this is pollen from the calla lily, a very well-known lily, and you can see all these grains are piled in on top of each other. So it's really hard to get a good idea of what each individual grain looks like. So we're going to move over here. Sorry it's moving so fast. But I want to find a field of view of individual grains that are laying out kind of like that. So you can see each one individually. And so we've got a couple of areas here, such as these, with a few pollen grains laid out that we can examine. And what we're really interested in is this internal feature of the grains moving around. Well, the products inside the grain, which we don't know what they are, moving around. So we're going to move up in magnification, and in order to do so, we have to make a couple of changes here. There we go. And so now we have some individual grains, and we can see these sort of granular inside to these guys. I think I might go up a little bit higher in magnification. Let's focus on these guys. And okay, so now we're up at a higher magnification, and you can see these pollen grains with their sort of granular inside structure, and we're not really sure exactly what these things are inside. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this record for a while, find a good focal point, and I'm just going to let it record, and then we're going to play it back at a faster rate, and we'll see if there's anything going on inside these grains. So what's really interesting is that once you pop open one of these pollen grains, a lot of these tiny structures inside come out and seem to swim around, and we're not really sure if this is Brownian movement or if these things have flagella on them which allow them to swim around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to videotape this for quite some time, and again put it in a high-speed playback, and we'll see if there's anything interesting going on inside these pollen grains with these tiny little structures. Well, I wish I could tell you what you're watching. All I know is that these are particles inside of the pollen grains of the calla lily, and apparently no one else knows what these are either. So we're going to try to find out. Hopefully the transmission electron microscope work will show us that. But you can see this very interesting movement from these little particles. Anyway, thanks for watching, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you also for your prayers. I deeply appreciate them, and please pray that people will be won to Christ as a result of this work. Thanks also for all the donations to the GoFundMe website. If you want to donate directly to my PayPal account, just donate through my email address as shown here on PayPal, and that would be very much appreciated. So have a great day, and thanks for your support, and thanks for watching.